Welcome to my channel. This is Cess Vlogs, live here in Negros Island. Magandang araw po sa lahat. On today's adventure, I am going to show you around the most historical sites in Manila. Before we will continue, I would like to thank you all for being here watching this video, and I hope you will learn something today. I am very happy and glad that you never stop supporting this channel. I am trying my best, so let's get started. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Mabuhay! Fort Santiago, built in 1571, is a citadel built by Spanish navigator and Governor Miguel Lopez de Legazpi for the newly established city of Manila in the Philippines. The defense fortress is located in Intramuros, the walled city of Manila. The fort is one of the most important historical sites in Manila. Is Fort Santiago and Intramuros the same? Why is Fort Santiago famous? Is Fort Santiago in Manila known as the walled city of Intramuros? How to get to Intramuros Fort Santiago? These are some questions that might be in your mind right now, so let's dive in. Several people died in its prisons during the Spanish Empire and World War II. Jose Rizal, one of the Philippine national heroes, was imprisoned here before his execution in 1896. The Rizal Shrine Museum displays memorabilia of the hero in their collection, and the fort features, embedded into the ground in bronze, his footsteps representing his final walk from his cell to the location of the actual execution. It is only a few meters away from the Manila Cathedral and Palacio del Gobernador, or Governor's Palace, currently the office of the Commission on Elections. The location of Fort Santiago was once the site of a palisaded fort, armed with bronze guns, of Raha Matanda, a Muslim Tagalog Raha of Free Hispanic Manila who himself was a vassal to the Sultan of Brunei. The fort was destroyed by Maestre de Campo, or Master of Camp, Martin de Goite, who upon arriving in 1570 from Cebu, fought several battles with the Muslim natives. The Spaniards started building Fort Santiago, or Fuente de Santiago, after the establishment of the city of Manila under Spanish rule on June 24, 1571, and made Manila the capital of the newly colonized islands. The first fort was a structure of palm logs and earth. Most of it was destroyed when the city was invaded by Chinese pirates led by Limahong. Martin de Goite was killed during the siege. After a fierce conflict, the Spaniards under the leadership of Juan de Salcido eventually drove the pirates out to Pangasinan province to the north and eventually out of the country. The construction of Fort Santiago with hard stone, together with the original fortified walls of Intramuros, commenced in 1590 and finished in 1593. During the reign of Gomez Perez das Marinas, the stones used were volcanic stuff quarried from Guadalupe, now Guadalupe Video in Makati. The fort, as Dasmariñas left, it consisted of a castellated structure without towers, trapezoidal in trace, its straight gray front projecting into the river mouth. Arches supported an open gun platform above, named the Battery of Santa Barbara, the patron saint of all gold artillerymen. These arches form casemates which afforded a lower tier of the fire-through embrasures. Curtain walls of simplest character, without counterforts or interior buttresses, extended the flanks to a fort front facing the city. In 1714, the ornate gate of Fort Santiago was erected together with some military barracks. The Luzon earthquakes of 1880, which destroyed much of the city of Manila, destroyed the front edifice of the fort, changing its character. During the leadership of Fernando Valdez y Tamon in the 1730s, a large semicircular gun platform to the front called Media Naranja or half orange and another of lesser dimensions to the river flank were added to the bastion of Santa Barbara. The casemates were then filed in and embrasures closed. He also changed the curtain wall facing cityward to a bastion front. A lower parapet bordering the interior moat connects the two bastions. On September 24, 1762, British forces led by Brigadier General William Draper and Rear Admiral Samuel Cornish invaded and captured Manila, and along with it Fort Santiago. It was during this time that the fort served as a base of operations for the Royal Navy until April 1764, when they agreed to a ceasefire with the Spanish. On August 13, 1898, the American flag was raised in Fort Santiago, signifying the start of the American rule in the Philippines. The fort served as the headquarters for the U.S. Army, and several changes were made to the fort by the Americans. One of these changes included the draining of the moats surrounding the fort. The grounds were then transformed into a golf course. During World War II, Fort Santiago was captured by the Japanese Imperial Army and used its prisons and dungeons, including the storage cells and gunpowder magazines, for hundreds of prisoners who were killed near the end of the war. The fort sustained heavy damage from American and Filipino military mortar shells during the Battle of Manila in February 1945. Also, approximately 600 American prisoners of war died of suffocation or hunger after being held in extremely tight quarters in the dungeons at Fort Santiago. Today, the fort, its bastions, and the prison dungeons for criminals used by the Spanish officials is now part of a historical park, which also includes Plaza Moriones and several ruins. The park houses will preserve legacies from the Spanish colonial period, including memorabilia of Jose Rizal at the Rizal Shrine, a replica of his ancestral house in Laguna Province. Adaptive use of this famous historical landmark makes certain areas ideal for open-air theater, picnics, and as a promenade. The Intramuros Visitors Center gives an overview of the various attractions in the walled city. After its destruction during World War II, Fort Santiago was declared as a Shrine of Freedom in 1950. Its restoration by the Philippine government did not begin till 1953 under the hands of the National Parks Development Committee. The Intramuros administration now manages the reconstruction, maintenance, and management of the fort since 1992. The fort was named after Saint James, or Santiago in Spanish, the patron saint of Spain, who is also known as Saint James, the Muslim slayer, because of the legend that he miraculously appeared hundreds of years after his death to fight in the Battle of Clavijo, whose relief adorns the facade of the front gate. It is located at the mouth of the Pasig River and served as the premier defense fortress of the Spanish government during the rule of the country. It became a main fort for the spice trade to the Americans and Europe for 333 years. The Manila galleon trade to Acapulco, Mexico began from the Fuerte de Santiago. The fort has a perimeter of 2,030 feet or 620 meters, and it is of a nearly triangular form. The south front, which looks towards the city, is a curtain with a terraplane, flanked by two demi-bastions, the bastion of San Fernando on the riverside and the bastion of San Miguel by the bayside. A moat connected with the river separates the fort from the city. Near the beginning of the north face, instead of a bastion, a cavalier called Santa Barbara was built with 3 phases of batteries, one looking seaward over the anchorage place, one facing the entrance, and the third looking upon the river. The latter is united with a tower of the same height as the walls, through which there is a descent at the water battery placed upon a semicircular platform, thus completing the triangular form of the fort. The 22-foot or 6.7-meter high walls with a thickness of 8 feet or 2.4 meter are pierced for the necessary communications. The front gateway facade measures 40 feet or 12 meter high, being in the south wall and facing the city. The communication with the river and the sea was by an obscure postern gate, the Postigo de la Nuestra Señora del Soledad or postern of Our Lady of Solitude. Inside the fort were guard stations, together with the barracks of the troops of the garrison and quarters of the warden and his subalterns. Also inside the fort were various storehouses, a chapel, the powder magazine, the sentry towers, the cisterns, etc. At this point, we are heading to the Lunita Park. Join us and enjoy the view. Also, witness the traffic situation on this city. As we are heading to the Lunita Park, I would like also to share you about a little bit information about the hotel where we stay, called the Manila Hotel. The Manila Hotel. Overlooking the South Harbor, this iconic luxury hotel is an 11-minute walk from Landscape Gardens in Rizal Park and 2 kilometers from both the National Museum of the Philippines and Fort Santiago. Featuring marble bathrooms with TVs, tubs, and rainfall shower heads. The lavish rooms come with a flat-screen TVs, mini bars, and tea and coffee makers, as well as MP3 players and free Wi-Fi. Palatial suites add extra rooms, and one has a private lift and helipad access. There are 4 swanky restaurants, including an opulent champagne room, along 3 bars, and a club lounge with butler service. There is also a pool, a spa, and a fitness center. Let's go back to the first question I was talking earlier. Is Fort Santiago and Intramuros the same? Here's the answer. Fort Santiago is a part of the walled city of Intramuros and is an important heritage site. Why is Fort Santiago famous? Here's the answer. The fort is notable for being a headquarters of the armies of several foreign powers in the Philippine history, including the Spanish in 1571 to 1898, the British 1762 through 1764 during the 7 Years' War, the Americans 1898 to 1946, and the Japanese 1942 through 1945. Is Fort Santiago in Manila known as the walled city of Intramuros? Fort Santiago is the oldest Spanish bastion in the Philippines, situated inside the walled city of Intramuros in Manila. The site witnessed many historical events of the Philippines. The exact spot where Fort Santiago now stands was once a Muslim kingdom ruled by a chieftain named Raja Sulaiman. What is Fort Santiago also known as? Fuerza de Santiago. Miguel Lopez de Legazpi built the fort for the newly established Manila City and named it after Spain patron saint, Saint James the Great. It's also known as Fuerza de Santiago in Spanish or Moog ng Santiago in Tagalog. What is beautiful about Fort Santiago? Within the fort grounds is an oasis of lovely manicured gardens, plazas, and fountains leading to an arched gate and a pretty lily pond. Within is the beautifully presented Rizal Shrine Museum, the building where Dr. Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, was incarcerated as he waited executions in 1896. Now let's talk about Lunita Park. Rizal Park, also known as Lunita Park or simply Lunita, is a historic urban park located in Ermita, Manila. It is considered one of the largest urban parks in the Philippines. covering an area of 58 hectares. The site on where the park is situated was originally known as Bagumbayan during the Spanish colonial period. Why is Luneta Park famous? Why Rizal Park is called Luneta? Is it Rizal Park or Luneta Park? What kind of attraction is Luneta Park? What is the Rizal Park originally known as? What is the biggest park in the Philippines? Those are some of the questions that I will be answering on the next video, so stay tuned. Be smart and be alert. This is Cess Travel Vlogs live here in Luneta Park, Manila. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing and share it to your friends. Thank you so much and see you in my next vlog. Bye!